Hi guys, as promised in my July favourites video, I said I would be doing the makeup looks from the video Cool for the Summer, which came out recently. I believe I said that in my July favourites. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it below. This one's a little bit less wearable. It's a lot of black on the eye and nude lips, but everybody loves a good smoky eye. And speaking of smoky eyes, of course, there's only one palette I could use, and that is the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette. There's a couple reasons. A, I wanted to do this makeup look anyway, and I wanted to get this palette. This is actually my first full-size naked palette. I haven't got 1, 2 or 3 because none of them have called to me, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Not that they look bad, they just don't look necessary in my collection, let's put it that way. And I also thought that I would do this look as well, particularly with this palette. Is I think a lot of people would look at this and think, yeah, I can use these 4 and I can use these 4, but kind of ignore the middle shades. And actually, I think that for me they're personally all really wearable, but yeah, I thought I would do a look that centres really around Black Market, which is obviously the darkest shade in the entire palette. Anyway, so that's enough of me waffling, and let's just crack on with what I look like with no makeup on. Although this look is mainly focused around the eyes, I thought I would show you what I'm going to do with my skin. I've already moisturised and I'm just going to chuck all over my face some of the Infallible Mattifying Base by L'Oreal. Just going to shove that all over. At the moment I'm also using my viewfinder as my mirror as per. To go a bit primer crazy, I'm actually going to chuck a bit Porefessional on because I am trying to create a sort of more or less flawless base. I have quite visible open pores sort of around my nose and on my forehead, although you can't really see my forehead. As I said, I want to be using a full coverage base, so I'm going to be using my most full coverage foundation, which is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra 24 Hours. This is like, I think I've referred to it before as my party foundation, and it definitely is. Like, if I'm going out, this tends to be what I wear, but I'm also going to mix it with, this is the L'Oreal Lumi Magique, but I do think this is the drugstore's answer to Becca's Shimmering Skin Perfector. It is a lightening primer, but I am going to mix it with my foundation. With this foundation, what I will suggest, say you want 2 pumps worth of coverage, what I would do is I would use 1 pump, put that on, and then go it back in with a 2nd pump, because otherwise, because it is sort of a quite thick foundation, if you put it all on at once, I find it can look a little bit cakey. So I've done 1 pump, and I did about 2/3 of a pump of this. And I'm going to be using 2 brushes to apply it as well. This look's going to seem very excessive, obviously tailor it to what you use. I'm going to be using these 2 brushes here. This is the Sephora Stippling brush, and this is the Pro Airbrush. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to apply it, and then I'm going to make sure it's all blended in with this one. So even if you wanted to actually wear just 1 layer of this concoction as like a day base, like a long wearing day base, I definitely think you could get away with it without it looking too much. But I am going to go back in for a 2nd lot, so again just 1 pump of foundation and about 2/3 of a pump of this. So there's that all applied, but I am going to quickly, as I said, go over with this, make sure it is all blended in. Equally, if you are a beauty blender person, which I am too, but I've been quite liking this combo of brushes, you could definitely use your beauty blender to make sure everything's all tickety-boo. I do tend to leave my concealer until after I've done my eye makeup, but I am going to pop on my Bobbi Brown corrector. Again, going with the whole sort of flawless coverage thing, I tend to go right up into the corner of my eye, and obviously I'm going to, oh, I've got a bit of sleep there, great. Obviously, I'm going to have eyeshadow there, so I just want to make sure it's all good, and then I'm going to put another under eye concealer on after I've finished. Although we're focusing on the Naked Smoky palette today, I'm actually going to be using the Naked Basics 2 for my eyebrows. I think you need just that little bit more of a stronger brow when you've got such like strong eyes on, and also Demi does have a really strong brow anyway. I'm going to be using the colour Primal from this palette, and this is a Real Techniques brush. Right, I'm now going to zoom you in and crack on with the star of the show, which is the Naked Smoky. Because we are going to be using quite a lot of shadow on the eyes, I have prepped it with a little bit of Painterly Paint Pot by MAC. But yeah, let's get cracking. I'm first of all going to pop on a transition shade, and I'm going to use Combust. Right, I've had a fiddle with my autofocus settings, so I hope my eyes are staying in focus. If they're not, there's going to be a very angry editing Alice. But yeah, I'm just popping a bit of Combust into the crease just to warm up the look a little bit when we finally have all these shadows. I'm not putting tons and tons on. So I'm going to take the same brush that I used with my eyebrows, and I'm going to take the shade Password to just stamp out the area roughly as to where I want the black shadow to finish. Password is sort of like a matte grey colour, so you'll be able to see it, but it's not going to be crazy. I'm just going to take it out as if it was like a wing liner here, and then up and over. So we're mainly staying in the mobile lid with this shadow. Not completely, but mainly. And I just think drawing yourself a little bit of a guide, no matter how sloppy like this one, you can sort of say, right, that's where it ends, that's where it finishes. And then I'm just going to do the same on this side too. Right, next I'm going to take a big old flat brush. This is the Real Techniques 200 brush. And whilst this is dry, I'm just going to pat black mark it over the lid, making sure that I am patting off excess as I go. And again, trying to stick within that guide that we just drew. I'm then going to take a smaller flat brush, I believe this is a concealer brush actually, and sort of go a little bit closer to the edge, again just with it dry and with patting motions. Don't know why, but I get this one fine, but this one is a lot messier. Anybody get that? When they have one eye that they just absolutely butcher and the other one that's always great. How do you think that is? I'm then going to take a clean blending brush and just blend those edges a little bit. Good at the moment, this doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. We're just setting out that base. Now this is where things get a little bit more fun. I'm taking another slightly fluffier but still flat brush. This is a Zoeva Luxe Smoky Shader, ideally named. And I am going to grab some Fix Plus. Where have I put it? Fix Plus, where are you? Here it is. I'm just going to coat the brush, give it a little spray, and then start patting it on. I'm going to take the same 217, which I used at the beginning with Combust, and just blend the edges out. I'm not winging it, I'm like slightly winging it out. Although I am sticking mainly to the mobile lid, but it's just on the outer corner that I'm bringing it out just a little bit. Just to add a bit more of a sort of an almond shape to my eye. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, again, the same brush and just run this under the eye as well. I'm going to take the colour Dagger and I'm going to pat that just into the centre of the eye, so it's not just a flat black look. What I will say is if you're going for sort of more of a more true Demi look, I believe it was more of a bluer colour that they used. So if you want to use sort of more of a blue colour and pat that into the centre, then absolutely go for it. But I'm sticking with using this palette. So I'm just taking a bit of Dagger and patting that into the middle of the eye. Now I'm going to take a completely clean, another flat sort of fluffy brush, and I'm going to take the shade 13. Run that underneath the brow bone. Now I'm going to wet this brush and take the shade High and dab that right here in the inner tear duct. Now I do have a little bit of black basically all over my face, so I'm just going to take this from the stippling brush I was using earlier. I'm just going to blend particularly under the eyes but all over the face too. That's because you don't want like black absolutely everywhere. And now I'm going to take a little bit of the Maybelline Erase Under Eye, and I'm going to go absolute batshit crazy with this under my eye. I'm just going to curl my lashes and pop on some mascara. These are Kevyn Aucoin eyelash colours, and this is the Miss Manga Punky mascara, which I am still loving and I'm still going out of focus. Of course, if you have lashes, definitely put those on. But I know this is a lot for a Wednesday afternoon, but I am not going for lashes as well. It's a Wednesday afternoon when I'm filming this, if you're wondering. And I'm about to go shopping as well, so I'm going to go and just look all round fierce. I feel like I'm going to have to wear all black and just totally goth it up. And not really care. Cool, now I'm going to move back to the face. I'm just going to quickly pop a little bit of concealer on. I've got the Makeup Forever full coverage. I'm just going to pop that on. As I said, I've got like a blemish or two here, just to get rid of those real quick. Before we move on to powder products, I'm going to actually highlight with this. Her skin in the video is like pretty much wet. I'm pretty sure somebody was there spraying makeup spray in her face just 24/7. So obviously I'm not going to go as sort of strobed as she looks in that video because my life isn't a music video, and I doubt yours is either. So I'm just going to use this as my initial highlight, which is a cream base. Did I say that this colour is called Luna? This colour is called Luna, and I'm just going to pop it on my high points of my cheeks. This is from MAC, and this is sort of the palest one that they do. I think they do one called Hush, which is more sort of goldy toned. So if you are, say, Latina, like Demi is, who's obviously, she's got several shades darker skin than I do, I'm sure that one would be great, and I'm sure they do ones for even deeper skin tones as well. Still using my finger, just run it over the brow bone because she definitely has like a very obvious joint brow bone highlight to cheek highlight. And she also brings the cheek highlight quite far in as well. So Demi Lovato and I obviously have different face shapes, and she has, I think, like a lot, well, not like necessarily higher cheekbones, but like this part of her face is a lot more longer than mine is. So her apple of her cheek is in a different spot to mine. So I'm not going to highlight as much, but as you can see, this gives like quite a kick of sheen. Now Demi is particularly contoured in this video, so I'm going to be using the contour kit by Anastasia, and I'm going to take this brush. So naturally, halfway through my card was full, so I've just nipped off to pop everything on my computer and made myself a cup of coffee, but I'm back, and I think where I got to was to talk about contouring. I'm going to take a little bit of the contour shade in the middle. Find myself a mirror and get going. I'm then going to take the yellow shade in the palette, and I'm going to take it on this Luxe Face Definer brush. I'm just running it under the eye, like so. Also, I'm just going to kind of use it to blend the cheeks together, although obviously you can see that she's got both quite a lot of highlight and quite a lot of contour on. You know, you don't want it to be like not blended. So I'm unsure whether she actually has any blush on in the video, but I'm going to use this one, which is quite a neutral toned blush anyway, just again to tie everything together. And this is the Max Factor blush in Nude Mauve. I think I am going to put a little bit more highlighter on because why not? I'm going to take the center shade in my ambient lighting palette. I'm just going to hit that with the tops of the cheekbones. And then I'm actually going to use this to powder my face all together. I'm going to use this Smashbox brush right here, and I just go boop boop, and then I'm going to powder everywhere. Because I have got quite a bit of makeup on, so I'm just using it to sort of set it all in place. But I am going to go over with Fix Plus as well. Right, and finally for lips. She has got like a proper true nude on, which just doesn't suit me, but I have got this lipstick by Soap and Glory, that's what it's called, and this is in the shade Super Nude, so it is pretty nude. And I'm just going to pop this on and just dials back my lips just a little bit. Because after all, the star of the show is the eyes. She's also got quite glossy lips, so I've dug out this Too Faced Glamour Gloss, which is also a lip plumping one. I own virtually no lip gloss, so this is all I had that would sort of match. So here it is, the final look. I know I don't have very Demi-esque hair, so it doesn't necessarily suit it, but I do enjoy this nice, like, badass look. And I know it's a little bit more makeup than I usually wear, but, you know, every now and again, you just want to put on a nice bit of slap and look like a badass bitch. And also, if you have picked up the Naked Smoky palette and these middle shades were looking a bit scary and you were just going to stick to the warmer ones around the edges, I think you should go for it, particularly as we're heading into autumn. I don't know, the song is called Cool for the Summer, but hey, it could be cool for the autumn too. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see any more makeup tutorial things from me, then please let me know, because they're quite fun. Anyway, I shall see you guys very, very soon. But yeah, I'll link loads of stuff down below if you want to watch any more of me. I'm gonna go, but I shall see you guys soon. Bye!